William Blake, an introduction. William Blake was born on 28th of November 1757 in London to parents of modest income that could only afford a basic education of reading and writing, although he did attend a drawing school for a short time. His artistic skill was apparent relatively early, and at the age of 14 he stopped working in his father's hosiery shop and became an apprentice engraver. This apprenticeship finished when he was 21, and at 25 he married Catherine Boucher. He taught her to read and write, and together in 1789 they published Songs of Innocence, with text and engravings printed from copper plates, and illustrations finished by hand with watercolours. It did not sell well, and throughout his life he remained largely unrecognised, often on the verge of poverty. This led to a deep depression for many years, and he was often considered mad by his contemporaries. His creativity and imagination, with its undercurrents of mysticism, spiritualism, and philosophy, are apparent in this selection of poems, and whilst classed as a seminal figure in the Romantic Age, it wasn't until the late 19th century that his work was recognised. The 20th century saw an even greater appreciation of his poetry, with Blake's voyage beyond the rational and material chiming with the beat poets Dylan, Van Morrison and Jim Morrison, whose band The Doors were named after Blake's phrase "doors of perception" from his poem Marriage of Heaven and Hell. Further acclaim has been attributed to him from many scholars of art, psychology and, of course, literature. His poems have inspired composers such as Vaughan Williams, Britten and Taverner, and his Jerusalem is a hymn still sung today. Blake's vivid and intense work is still relevant to all to this day, and he is recognised as a saint in the Ecclesia Agnostica Catholica. William Blake died on 12th of August 1827, and in 1957 a memorial was erected at Poets' Corner in Westminster Abbey.
The New Jerusalem by William Blake. And did those feet in ancient time walk upon England's mountains green? And was the holy Lamb of God on England's pleasant pastures seen? And did the countenance divine shine forth upon our clouded hills? And was Jerusalem builded here, among these dark satanic mills? Bring me my bow of burning gold, bring me my arrows of desire, bring me my spear, O clouds unfold, bring me my chariot of fire. I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land.
How Sweet I Roamed from Field to Field by William Blake. How sweet I roamed from field to field, and tasted all the summer's pride, till I the Prince of Love beheld, who in the sunny beams did glide. He showed me lilies for my hair, and blushing roses for my brow. He led me through his gardens fair, where all his golden pleasures grow. With sweet May dews my wings were wet, and Phoebus furred my vocal rage. He caught me in his silken net, and shut me in his golden cage. He loves to sit and hear me sing, then laughing sports and plays with me, then stretches out my golden wing, and mocks my loss of liberty.
To Summer by William Blake. O thou who passes through our valleys, in thy strength curb thy fierce steeds, allay the heat that flames from their large nostrils. Thou, O summer, oft pitchedst here thy golden tent, and oft beneath our oaks have slept, while we beheld with joy the ruddy limbs and flourishing hair. Beneath our thickest shades we oft have heard thy voice, when noon upon his fervid car rode o'er the deep of heaven. Besides our springs sit down, and in our mossy valleys On some bank beside a river clear, throw thy silk draperies off and rush into the stream. Our valleys love the summer in his pride. Our bards are famed who strike the silver wire. Our youth are bolder than the southern swains, our maidens fairer in the sprightly dance. We lack not songs, nor instruments of joy, nor echoes sweet, nor waters clear as heaven, nor laurel wreaths against the sultry heat.
To Winter by William Blake. O winter, bar thine adamantine doors, the north is thine. There hast thou built thy dark, deep-founded habitation. Shake not thy roofs, nor bend thy pillars with thine iron car. He hears me not, but o'er the yawning deep rides heavy. His storms are unchained, sheathed in ribbed steel. I dare not lift mine eyes, for he hath reared his sceptre o'er the world. Lo, now the direful monster whose thousand skin clings to his strong bones strides o'er the groaning rocks. He withers all in silence, and in his hand uncloses the earth and freezes up frail life. He takes his seat upon the cliffs. The mariner cries in vain, poor little wretch that dealest with storms, till heaven smiles and the monster is driven, yelling to his caves beneath Mount Hecla.
The Garden of Love by William Blake. I went to the Garden of Love and saw what I never had seen. A chapel was built in the midst where I used to play on the green. And the gates of this chapel were shut, and thou shalt not writ over the door. So I turned to the Garden of Love that so many sweet flowers bore. And I saw it was filled with graves and tombstones where flowers should be, and priests in black gowns were walking their rounds and binding with briars my joys and desires.
The Echoing Green by William Blake. The sun does arise and make happy the skies. The merry bells ring to welcome the spring. The skylark and thrush, the birds of the bush, sing louder around to the bell's cheerful sound, while our sports shall be seen on the echoing green. Old John with white hair does laugh away care, sitting under the oak among the old folk. They laugh at our play, and soon they all say, such were the joys when we all, girls and boys, in our youth time were seen on the echoing green. Till the little ones weary no more can be merry. The sun does descend, and our sports have an end. Round the laps of their mothers, many sisters and brothers, like birds in their nest, are ready for rest, and sport no more seen on the darkening green.